Hey, what's up, guys? Another video here. So this is the training from October 25th to December 4th. And again, the training has gone pretty well. So I was able to work up to 315 for 5/6 reps, mostly in the 5 rep range. And then the 335 for the triple. And also I did hit 350 for one during this training span. And deadlift has been going okay as well, getting less and less left hip pain, and I've been able to work up to 475, so mostly in the 455, 475 range, and hopefully the next training block I'll be able to finally do the 495. But again, the 455 and the 475 is for very low volume, so it's around 3 to 6 reps maybe, or sorry, 3 to 6 singles. So again, it's just chugging along very slowly and just trying to keep the back and the hip healthy. I was suggested by my good friend Jeff that I should try some vegan DHA oil. So I think that's helping a bit. Also, I keep using the traction table, of course, so I use that multiple times per day, and it is able to alleviate some of the back pain and the hip pain. And I was surprised it was able to relieve some of the hip pain because if I hang there long enough, sometimes it pops the pelvic girdle and the head of the femur, and again, it just makes it feel way better. And again, everything is a slow grind. I mean, it did take a while to get to 315 for 5 reps, and now I'm doing for multiple sets. However, for the drop sets now, I'm doing for 320, and it's kind of difficult to get the 5 sets, or sorry, the 5 reps. But let's see what happens. But again, currently doing some triples and hopefully it progresses. And again, bench press is just bench press. Been able to work up to 225, but again, this past few days I had to ratchet down to 220, and again, didn't bench for a week and so forth. But anyways, it's not that important. And hopefully the bench gets a lot more consistent. Again, I'm not spending that much time per day on the bench, maybe 30 minutes, around 30 minutes, because I always do the squat and deadlift first, but I do have to be more serious and get more volume on it just so that I'm ready for the bench shirt when, again, it is time to put back on. But again, pretty happy that I was able to crack through 225. Again, it's not a lot of weight, but again, I have to be doing it at least at that level so I can get some kind of normal or some decently respectable shorter benches, but we'll see. Again, I do have to spend more time. I mean, generally, I've been spending around 2.5 hours at the gym, around 5 days a week. So I may have to really increase that and just get a lot more serious about training. But again, I'm not unhappy with the progress so far, considering the long layoff and also considering how weak I was from that layoff. And again, the squad is kind of iffy, the form sometimes, but I think it is getting a lot better and more consistent. And I think I am also better at reducing the body weight. So currently I can clip the belt with my shirt on, but again, in some of these clips, you'll see the belt under the shirt because it was just so difficult to clip the belt. But again, the daily diet, it doesn't vary much. I eliminated the rice and the pasta. And again, I think that was causing me a lot of problems with the weight gain, but the main meal for the day is chopped broccoli, ground turkey, and egg whites. So I actually also eliminated the egg yolk, and I think that was kind of throwing me off. But again, the weight isn't dramatically down. Maybe it's around 158 on a good day, but again, it's something that is a work in progress. And again, I don't eat much during the day, anyways, but possibly because I'm kind of inactive during the day, that it doesn't help my weight maintenance, but see what happens. And I think I'm also considering reducing all fruit intake because again, possibly maybe the sugar isn't helping me as well. So I think I'll replace that kind of meal slash snack with a vegetable or a different set of vegetables other than broccoli. But again, hopefully, reducing the rice or eliminating the rice completely and possibly eliminating the fruit is going to help me in the long run. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks guys for keeping me up with the progress with the channel. the posts are infrequent because I don't feel like doing the weekly training posts anymore. It's just kind of a time grab, and also have to grab my camera in and out. But again, overall, life is pretty good. Things are going well for my personal life, and also my investing net worth is has dramatically increased. I did make a major move in August as far as investing goes, and that investment has done really well. And if you guys follow my Instagram story, that stock is Palantir, so I was able to get on that on a pre-IPO basis. So my cost basis was $7, but after commissions and fees, it was really around $7.42. But the stock rocketed up to what $33, and again, it made a tremendous amount of money off that. And again, this channel is of course more focused on, or will probably always be focused on powerlifting. That's where most of the audience is. But I really want to get into personal finance, and that's why that's one of the reasons I published my book. And it sold a decent amount of copies, but again, anyone can watch or sorry read the book for free on Kindle Unlimited. But it really goes over my philosophy of investing and how that a young person really needs to control their expenses. Don't buy the expensive car, don't live in an expensive place, try to ratchet down all expenses. And there's absolutely no reason to spend all this money if you're just going to be broke when you're in your mid 30s. And luckily things worked out for me, but it's not so uncommon. If you do save your money very diligently, again, not save any cash, invest it, then you will be able to become a millionaire slash multimillionaire, within 2 decades or a little less than 2 decades. So again, definitely possible. Of course, it's really important to get your income as high as possible, and then of course reduce your expenses and maintain those low expenses throughout your lifetime. And again, there's nothing wrong with getting nice things, but again, maybe if you become a multimillionaire slash decamillionaire slash centimillionaire, that it's more justifiable to get nicer things. But that's not the point of my channel. Again, I want to preach austerity. Of course, you can have things, nice things here and there. Just make sure it's in your budget and that you invest as much as possible. That's why in my book I espouse or I endorse the 1 cent rule. And again, people may view that as quite extreme, but again, it's something that is a good tool that you can use in order to increase your net worth, or some people like to call it the high score. Because ultimately, we have very limited time on the earth, and if you're doing a job that you hate for 40 to 80 hours a week, then I don't see much of a point. So, assuming you are working that intensely up to 80 hours a week, then I'm guessing that your income is somewhat decent. So there's no reason to not sock away as much as you can as far as the money goes. But, and of course, investing in highly appreciating assets, or assets that can appreciate greatly, again, not bond funds. Of course, you want to invest in things that have high growth. And again, a lot of these tech stocks or a lot of these lower cap market companies have negative EPS, and they may have a non-existent PE ratio because they don't turn profit. Is something that is advisable. Again, that's not financial advice, but you want to look for stocks that have a greater runway to increase your net worth. So you want to focus on capital appreciation. And again, most dividend producing stocks, it doesn't produce great of a yield. That's why I talked previously on investing in MLPs. If you do end up having a larger net worth to produce a higher, income for you to live off of, but also have a smaller tax liability, because the distribution on those assets is a ROC, a return on capital, and in turn, that return on capital is taxed at a much lower rate. And again, it just progressively gets more as more ROC gets returned, but again, the tax rate is still favorable compared to earning a taxable income through an earned income through a job, or other type of wages. But anyways, uh, you know, I think that's what I want to focus more on the channel for investment advice. But again, can't misconstrue that as actual investment advice. But it's really important that young people, outside of lifting or outside of physical fitness, that they take care of their financial fitness. But again, also to make both as a priority. So also making a priority of your fitness as well as your your income and your net worth. But again, neither is more important than the other. Again, I'll argue that physical fitness or physical health is more important than money. But again, you need to have money to sustain your life and also to pay for things and to have time freedom. Again, if you're stressed all the time, that may also shorten your lifespan or may get you sick or whatever. So I think eliminating a stressful job is just as important as maintaining your physical fitness. I mean, physical fitness isn't terribly expensive, so you should spend X amount per month on your gym membership, and do what you do as far as your fitness go. It doesn't have to be powerlifting; it can be general fitness. It can be keeping your body active, just maintaining a normal diet with that's high in vegetables, fiber, micronutrients, and kind of staying away from the heavy carbohydrates and fat and fried food and etc. So it's really important that you take a holistic view on your life. But again, maximizing net worth and producing automated income is super, super important. That's why I'm trying to really um, kind of turn this channel into something more that's finance related, because I think it's a lot more important than how many X reps and X Y sets you do on a powerlifting movement. But anyways, you know things are going well, and I'm still going to live very reasonably within my budget. Again, my budget's not too terribly expensive. It can range from 2,300, 2,400 after including all my expenses, HOA, mortgage, etc., going out to eat. So, really, really important to maintain this budget, even though you have a high net worth, because you don't want to fall into the trap of, oh, I deserve X car. For example, lots of people want Teslas, but again, their net worth and the current income and expenses, it doesn't justify the amount that they're going to spend on the car. So again, I see that over and over. And again, people do approach me a lot for advice, investment advice. But again, I explain to them it's not only investment advice; it also has to be in conjunction with your expenditures. So your income, expenditures, and what you invest in, they're all equally important. So I talk to people where they're spending enormous amounts on food, enormous amounts on rent, mortgage. And I tell them, hey, if you have a chance, you should downsize. But of course, if people are stuck in the ways. They don't want to downsize their lifestyle. So I said, oh, hey, it's better to have more free cash flow at the end of the month as opposed to investing in things or putting money, or not investing, but spending resources on something that won't give you appreciation or return. So again, that is upsetting when I try to talk to people, or again, I don't talk to people; they approach me for advice. But again, if you're not going to listen to my advice, then what's the point really? And again, if you're stuck in your ways and you refuse to have an austerity mindset, and your net worth is still currently low, even though your income may be high, then you're going to be stuck in this perpetual cycle of, I'd say idiocy. Because again, if you want something so badly, then you have to make sacrifices to do it. So again, it is, quite upsetting. But again, I try not to waste too much energy, so I may try to pound the point in, try to um, you know, explain to them that they need to reduce expenses and they have to start investing as much as possible in non-bond assets, of course, so stocks or ETFs. But again, ETFs have generally a lower rate of return, and again, that comes with also diversification, so it is safer. You have less risk. But again, if you're starting from a low point of having very little money, then you have to take on more risk if you want to eventually retire and not work a stressful job anymore. So again, many people, they don't understand the concept, but we'll see what they do in the future. But again, it's not looking too hopeful for a lot of people, because again, they cannot control their lifestyle expenses. And also an interesting point, I did apply to the CNBC Millennial Money series, because I did see a girl that was featured in my city, and I might as well try and get on the show, because I want to show how unglamorous a life is of a multimillionaire millennial. And again, that's how it should be, because again, you don't want to you don't want to show irresponsibility when, even though you have large amount of money slash net worth. And again, that will be my goal on the show, to show that I drive a decade old used car and live in a very very small place and have the same meals every day. And again, someone out that I was recently talking to, trying to give advice, she was spending an enormous amount on food, but you know, I explained to her, hey, you have to eat the same thing every day, or you most likely will have to have similar meals every day. And I showed her my meal: chopped broccoli, ground turkey, and egg whites. But again, she's like, oh, how could you eat that every day? I'm like, well, that's why I have the higher net worth, and you don't. Even though she has a great job, and her expenses are out of control, so she can't save a lot per month. And again, even refused to open a brokerage account. So that was all upsetting to me. But again, I just cut it off because some people just don't want to listen. But anyways, hopefully I get on the show, and hopefully they can shoot me and shoot some video of me, and release the video sometime in 2021. But again, that's just wishful thinking because I haven't even gotten a response back, and I don't expect to get a response back for quite a while. But again, I just want to show to people how you should live an unglamorous and kind of a quiet life in terms of expenses, in order to get the net worth that you want. So that's the ultimate goal, but at least for me, or at least should be for most people, because working a stressful job or working a job you hate is not really a great life. And again, some people may enjoy their jobs, but again, according to recent data that I found and also presented in a video, that 85% of people do not like their jobs. So again, the only way to escape it, especially if you're earning a lower grade income, is to invest as much as possible. It's completely possible to become a multimillionaire or a millionaire with only a $50,000 income, but you really have to reduce all your life expenses. So again, have a very low cost rent slash mortgage. Don't buy a fancy car, and again, things that depreciate in value. So that's the main driver of my channel. But it is exhausting making videos day in and day out, so that's why I'm not posting much recently. And again, I've been releasing videos on Top Golf, and I think that's fairly fun. But again, that is kind of pricey. But again, having built that into the budget, I think is fine, and I think I'll continue to golf in the future. So I think it's a fun endeavor. But again, it's not something that I endorse for people that are struggling and trying to gain net worth. But again, doing it within reason, I think it's perfectly reasonable, and there are lower cost options to do this type of Top Golf activity. It's cheaper in the morning and also half price on Tuesdays. So that's what's been going on. I'm really happy that everything's going well. I think training is going fairly well. I mean, not as optimal as I want to, but again, it's something I can't complain about. Of course, as long as the pain is able to be managed, as far as lower back pain, left hip pain. But I think it is getting better and more tolerable. But yeah, I mean, this past week, training has been kind of erratic. So you see me there struggling with 315, 335, and then the bench kind of took a dip because I didn't bench for a week for whatever reason, circumstances in personal life. But anyways, it did dip down to around 220 for really hard bench singles, and again, it's kind of tough with the squats, because I need to nail more consistency in the training. But again, this was kind of a off week in this entire training block, so I think it's fairly okay. And the last deadlift clip you saw there, I actually did 455 for six singles, which is an improvement over what I did in the past. It was, I believe, for four singles. Then I just kind of jumped to 475 for some singles, three to four singles, and they are very tough. So I am also supplementing deadlifts with the conventional deadlifts. So I think that is helping as well. And oh, sorry, that was the clip I was talking about, 455 for six singles, and then it just kind of tapered down from here. But hopefully, the coming training block, 4 to 6 weeks, or whenever I decide to post the next video, it does show some improvement. But really happy that I'm able to rep through 15 by 5 for multiple sets, and also being able to rep 335 for a low number of reps. I think is really good improvement. I believe the best set I did with 335, 340 was doing for sets of five, back a few years ago. So hopefully I can get back to that point. And I did learn quite a bit. It was my last meet, the only meet in 2020, which I did bomb at, that I have to really increase my raw strength with the wraps and just sleeve squatting in order to get a really good equip squat. So, that's on the docket for the coming year, getting back in the wraps, doing it every single week, week after week, and go back to wrapping 4 or 5. And I believe the last time I did 4 or 5, I was able to top out at 7 to 8 reps. So I think, that was really promising, but I have to continue this trend going forward. And again, hopefully, I don't feel as annoyed to make personal finance videos, but I think the videos that I have released are fairly okay. So, anyways, thanks guys for watching the video, and stay tuned for the next training video.